What is up, guys? It is DJ Deadman back for the third episode of The Dead Speak. We got a lot of Marvel talk in today, so please stay tuned for the latest in entertainment news. But for now, let's go with Making a Move by TWRP. Enjoy. Hello, still here. That was Addicted to You by Avicii. Had to do it for Assistant Station Manager. I hope he's listening, Mr. Jan. I know you love that song. All right, so we've got quite the show this evening. I shouldn't say evening, it's afternoon barely. We are going to talk about movies today, at least for these next two segments. So, as viewers from last week may know, we went over some of the Oscar nominations and what I thought of them, whatnot. But I wanted to talk about some upcoming movies, which there isn't too many. However, there are few good ones. So right now, coming out today actually, is the Uncharted movie. Tom Holland stars as Nathan Drake, and Mark Wahlberg, I think, is he's supposed to be his like mentor, Sullivan. I think it's Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, Mark Wahlberg. Now, this show is based on a video game, so we already have the video game movie curse. If you've ever seen any movies that come from video games, you may know that they don't tend to do very well. There have been a couple. There's been, Tomb Raider. I think they made 2 Tomb Raider movies already. Or 3. They've made Mortal Kombat, which the last Mortal Kombat one wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty good. They've made a Ratchet and Clank movie, which I hear got mixed reviews. And yeah, there's been a couple. So Uncharted, will it be the one to break the curse? I don't know. It's already got a 6.7 Metascore. Well, actually, it's just got a 6.7 rating. Its Metascore is actually 45. I mean, that's not too bad, but it isn't good either. For reference, The Outfit, which is a movie I've never heard of, is also coming out today. Has a 63 Metascore. So, I mean, that could be one of those artsy movies that critics always like. You know the ones I'm talking about. But I am a big fan of Uncharted. Am I excited for this movie? Honestly, not really. There's a reason for that, though. I mean, honestly, I don't think Tom Holland was the right decision to make here. I like Tom Holland, but he does not look like Nathan Drake. For those of you who don't know what Nathan Drake is supposed to look like, get on your phone right now. Keep listening to my show, by the way. Go to Google and search up a picture of Nathan Drake from Uncharted 2 or 3 or even 4. It doesn't matter. Just from one of the games. And you'll see. I know this is supposed to be like the beginning of Nathan Drake in the movie with Tom Holland. But they've already done that in Uncharted 3. It showed like his origin story and even how he met his mentor. So I don't know what they're doing here. It's like they're starting a new universe or something. So I wasn't really excited, but we're here. We're now. That's what we're going to have to go with. But even more exciting, and it's something my roommate Jacob would love to talk about. March 4th, the Batman movie comes out. With Robert Pattinson. The villain is supposed to be the Riddler. I have no clue how this movie's gonna do. Hold on. I'm getting a text real quick from a friend of mine who's watching the show. But I don't know how good this movie's gonna do. I love Batman. He's one of my favorite superheroes. But like Robert Pattinson, I don't know if that was a good idea. Like, he doesn't look bad. I don't know. I'm like torn on this right now. The trailers look kind of good. They're very dark, like dark. Like I can't see anything. You get it? All right, I'll stop. But it is dark though. Will it beat The Dark Knight, though? The Dark Knight is, like, one of the greatest, not only greatest superhero movies, but one of the best movies of all time. Heath Ledger's Joker is iconic. He's like the definitive Joker. Joaquin Phoenix did pretty good, but I need to see more of him before I could make that call. But it's just it has competition going for it. There's a lot of good Batman movies. People are still fighting on whether or not the original Batman with Michael Keaton is better than The Dark Knight. There's like a lot of people like The Dark Knight, and there's a lot of people like Batman from the, I want to say it was 80s or 70s. I could be wrong. But here we are with another Batman iteration. It is kind of sad that Ben Affleck decided to leave the character. I wholeheartedly understand why he did it. The DCEU was kind of not going anywhere. I'm not a big fan of the DCEU. DC or Extended Universe, Cinematic Universe. I don't know which one's which, but they weren't really going anywhere. I'm not a big fan of Zack Snyder. I know, controversial, but I mean, hopefully this Batman's good. This Riddler is looking, it's looking very villainous. I gotta say, Jim Carrey's Riddler was pretty cartoonish. His evil plan was pretty evil. I guess that's the point. But this Riddler's looking very like he's the new dog in town. So we'll see. We'll have to see how this goes. I might see it for my birthday. My birthday's on March 6th, so this movie comes out only 2 days before then. So I mean, when it does come out, you better bet your pants that I'll probably like review it or something. Next we have Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore coming out on April 15th. And the Sonic the Hedgehog movie on April 8th. I should have probably said that one first. Sonic has been the one movie that's probably the one video game movie that's been pretty good. After the whole internet basically bullied the animators for the first movie when they first dropped the original trailer, it got better from there. And now we're on to the second movie, which is supposed to have Tails. It showed Knuckles. Now Eggman looks a lot more like Eggman, so this is gearing up to be a pretty good sequel. Now, the one about Dumbledore, I'm not a big Harry Potter fan. However, I wish they kept Johnny Depp as the villain. From what I heard, he was let go because of the trial that he was going on with his wife about domestic violence. There's a whole, I'm sure you guys can find a lot of information on that. I could go on hours talking about it. But without getting too into it here, I do think Johnny Depp was wrongfully looked at during that trial. And because of that, he was let go from his role as the villain for Fantastic Beasts. I think it was Grindelwald, if I'm correct. His wife, though, is still the love interest in Aquaman, which is a shame because I don't think it's fair that they fired him, but they didn't fire her. They were both involved in the same trial. There was evidence showing that she was pretty bad, but, again, I don't want to get too into it. I could make that a whole segment. But more importantly, the movie that I want to talk about today is Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Multiverse of Madness does come out on May 6th, so in a couple months. We're going to get into that after the music break. So stay tuned. For now, here's one of the most iconic rock songs in history, Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. I hope you guys enjoy. Welcome back. You're listening to the Valley Student Station, Vaquero Radio. I'm your host, DJ Deadman, and this is our second segment. I just want to say a shout out to my friends who are listening to the show right now. Aaron and Cody, you guys are my boys, along with everyone else in our group who are hopefully listening also. But yeah, like I said, we're going to talk about some Multiverse of Madness. That is going to be quite the movie. So we recently had No Way Home, which, amazing. I loved it. Cried in it. Had my favorite characters in it. But now we've opened up the possibilities, and it's pretty endless. Very endless right now. There's so many rumors going on about who's going to appear in this movie that it's unbelievable. Some people are saying that this is going to be the entryway for the X-Men, how they're going to get into the Marvel Universe. Some people are even claiming that Deadpool is going to make an appearance. So we don't know. We don't know. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. They released a new trailer about a week and a half ago, or maybe a couple days ago. I don't remember. A good show host is always informed. But the first trailer came out with like the No Way Home. It was more like a teaser. It was like at the very end, almost like a second post-credit scene. But now they released a new trailer from YouTube, and Patrick Stewart does sound like he's in it. There's one part of the trailer where he is talking. For those of you who don't remember, Patrick Stewart played Professor X in the original 3 X-Men, and I think he made an appearance in Days of Future Past. He hasn't, I might be wrong, but I haven't seen him in any other X-Men, especially of recent. Well, no, he was in Logan. That is true. I completely forgot about that. He was in Logan. So that was the last time he played the character. So if he is in Multiverse of Madness, it does make it interesting, because does that mean what version of the X-Men are we getting? We've had this new version of the X-Men for the past few movies with Apocalypse, First Class, and what was the last one? The Phoenix Saga, or Dark Phoenix, I think it was called. And it's like a new bunch, you know. Wolverine really isn't in it, which because Hugh Jackman didn't want to play the role anymore, which is completely fine. He did amazing. But now we have like Mystique, who used to be a villain, is now like the leader, from what I recall. We have Scott back. I mean, he died in the 3rd movie, but now he has like a new version. We have Quicksilver. We have this new Phoenix. So the question at this point is, if Patrick Stewart's Professor X is in Multiverse of Madness, does that mean we're getting the original X-Men from 1, 2, and 3? Or are we getting some weird hybrid with like the new X-Men? I don't know. I kind of like the old X-Men. Well, X-Men 1 and 2 were pretty good superhero movies. A lot of people call the 3rd one the bad one. I had fun watching it, but I can understand why people didn't. But even more interesting is the rumor that Deadpool is going to make an appearance in Multiverse of Madness. That is quite interesting. I know a lot of people were kind of worried about Deadpool being a Disney character now, ever since they bought the rights to Fox, because technically Deadpool is an X-Men. He's part of like the brand. I know he's kind of like not a member and not really a member of the actual team in the storyline, but when it comes to like copyright, he is part of the X-Men like characters and mythos. So it's possible. It is possible that he can be in it. It would be pretty whack though. I won't lie. Like I can imagine Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange is a pretty serious like a character in the Marvel universe. He's made a couple jokes, especially in A No Way Home, but he gets very serious pretty fast. So it would be really strange. You get it? Strange. Okay, I'll stop for real this time. It can be really strange to see him like being all serious about practically ripping a hole in the multiverse, and then all of a sudden this wisecracking rated R character comes out of nowhere and just starts like going ham on everyone and stuff like that. So it is pretty strange. I don't know if it's true, but I do think Patrick Stewart is in it. Whether it's Professor X or not is up in the air. Deadpool, I would say, I think it's not likely. It's possible, but I don't think it's likely. We saw some characters who have already been sort of established on appearing in Multiverse of Madness. We have the zombie versions, which made an appearance in Marvel's What If show, which recently came out on Disney Plus last semester, I believe, last year. And there's going to be some zombie characters. We already saw a glimpse of Zombie Strange, I believe. So we're going to have them. We're also going to have what I think was the evil Doctor... English is hard, I know. The evil Doctor Strange from the What If series. I think he was Supreme Strange or Supreme Doctor Strange, something like that. I don't want to say Superior because that's Superior Spider-Man, which is a different character from a different comic, not in the movies. But I am excited to see Evil Doctor Strange. I loved his episode in the What If. I'm not going to get into spoiler territories here, but his episode was one of the best episodes, if not the best, in my opinion. So seeing him on the big screen is going to be pretty fun. He technically is I think he might be stronger than Doctor Strange technically, but again, another thing up in the air. Now, an interesting rumor that I've heard, and it's not like it's just still in the rumor mill, but supposedly there's a small chance that the Spider-Man who came out in No Way Home might also make an appearance in Multiverse of Madness. Though supposedly if they do make an appearance, it's not clear whether they're going to be just a cameo or whether they're going to actually participate within the plot of the movie. So it's hard to say. It is hard to say. I, for one, think it would be cool to see them again, but I don't know. It could go either way. I know a lot of people want to see them in more projects. I've even heard of petitions to like finish their like movie series. So people have been petitioning for a Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4, but a lot of people have been petitioning for an Amazing Spider-Man 3 with Andrew Garfield. So whether any of that is going to happen is it's up in the air. I think they could if they wanted to. Honestly, I don't think it'll happen, but, I could totally be wrong. Anyway, unfortunately, that's all the time we have for that segment. I know time flies by when I'm doing this show. I really do wish I could talk more, but we're going to have to get into a music break here, so I do apologize for that. So, yeah, I'm going to play Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen, but first, here are some promos for our amazing shows here at Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station. And we're back. Welcome back, guys. And we are in for our third and final. Well, this isn't the final. It's going to be the next segment. But we are on Dead Man's Choice, in which I will talk about practically whatever I want. Aside from what we've talked about so far, which pretty much has been upcoming movies and Multiverse of Madness. So I want to turn, again, English, easiest language in the world. I'm joking, obviously. I want to talk about games. I like playing games. I've been playing them recently because I haven't been getting much chance since the semester started. But I've been playing with my roommate, Jacob, if you're listening. Hello. And we've been playing a lot of the harder games of the spectrum, which are the Dark Souls and Bloodborne, made by the same people. They're interesting, to say the least. He's told me that the first Dark Souls game is the hardest, or generally agreed upon to be the hardest. Personally, I disagree. I haven't played all of them. I've only played 1, 3, and Bloodborne, and I haven't gone far in 1 and 3. I have gotten pretty far in Bloodborne. Apparently, I'm a little over halfway, but I have to say the third Dark Souls is so difficult. Everyone moves so fast. They move like in one frame. Like they'll hold their sword like next to him in a ready position, and then you blink and you've already been stabbed. So you have to be on your toes on that one. So far, my favorite one is Bloodborne. I love the gothic feel of Bloodborne. If you haven't played it, I would recommend it. It's challenging. I'm not going to say it's easy. I wouldn't say it's impossible, though. It's pretty challenging. It really does test your tenacity, your timing, and just how patient you are. Because these boss fights, man, they really get to you. It like sometimes half the battle is just getting back up. Wow, that sounded very inspiring. Half the battle in these games are just getting back up and going from point A to B to fight the boss again. And during this time, you're just like reflecting on what you've done wrong, because these games are supposedly one of those, like, it's not unfair. If you lose, it's your fault. It's not that the game is unfair, which I highly disagree with. But the From Software, which is the company that makes these games, are making a new online MMO, I believe. Totally correct me if I'm wrong here. You can send messages in the chat or just message me, because I'm sure most of the people listening right now are my friends. It's a MMORPG called Elden Ring, and it's pretty much like another Dark Souls, but you're gonna be playing with other people, and it's looking interesting. I've seen some gameplay, and it's very, very difficult. It's challenging. Again, that's all this is. It's challenging. But more importantly, or maybe more importantly to me, I actually found out that the world, the lore within this new game, Elden Ring, was made with George R. Martin, which, if you don't know, is the same guy who wrote the Game of Thrones series. So that's very interesting. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Game of Thrones. I have seen like 1 or 2 episodes. I wasn't a huge fan. But it's going to be interesting to see how he made this entirely new fantasy world. The lore of like Dark Souls and even Bloodborne is very difficult to get into, because they don't exactly tell you straight up. They kind of like give you hints through like items, like giving you summaries of what they are, who they belong to. These games usually have like a beginning cutscene that gives you like the basic logic and the basic context of what you're doing. So it's going to be interesting how George Martin really like, I wonder like how much control he had over this world. I wonder if he like contributed a lot, or if most of it came from the original creators, because I don't know. It's supposedly separate from Dark Souls. Originally, I thought they were like the same world and stuff, but apparently it's like a whole new world. So we're going to have to see how that goes, because that's going to be interesting. But in other news, let's talk about one of the most disappointing games of the recent years. And it's one that me and my roommate are going to try out again. It's been 2 years since we tried it, so it's going to be interesting. Well, it might have been 1.5 or 1 year. No, it was 1 year. I think I'm exaggerating a little bit. I apologize for that. I apologize. I might be exaggerating. Cyberpunk 2077. This game, at one point, was one of the most hyped up games, I want to say, in like gaming history for a while. This game was supposed to like innovate the open world genre. Like, we're talking, it was supposed to be the next step in these kinds of games, with like dynamic NPCs, with like schedules. It was going to have some new police system. You were going to basically be able to do whatever you want. You know, you could like buy apartments, buy cars, customize, all that kind of stuff. I mean, this thing was really, really hyped up to be next gen. And oh boy, the only thing I could compare this game to is Icarus. It just flew too close to the sun. When this game launched, I pre-ordered it like maybe a month and a half before it came out, because my roommate convinced me. He convinced me that maybe this game was going to be the next step. And I got it. I played it the first day it was out, and I was very disappointed. This game was almost like a half-baked cake. Like, it just was not ready to release. There were so many problems. There were so many bugs, glitches. It was virtually unplayable. That's how bad it was. And I did not enjoy my time playing it. I got farther than he did. I gave up, essentially. Like, it was too laggy. The frames were horrible. And it always made my PlayStation sound like it was about to explode. So I quit, and we're here a year and a half later. There's been a couple of updates, including a new recent one that my roommate told me about, 1.5, that supposedly adds a lot of things. It adds some of the stuff that they promised but didn't come out. Remember I said originally you were going to buy apartments? Well, yeah, that wasn't in the game when it first came out. They barely added it like a week ago with this new update. They said you were going to customize cars. We can't do that. To my understanding, we still can't do that. We got apparently some new weapons, some new perks, and some of the bugs fixed. So I decided yesterday that maybe I was going to give this game a try. So I downloaded it last night, put my PlayStation to sleep. This morning I wake up and I was going to play a little bit before I had to come into work today. I work at the radio station, by the way. And it doesn't even start. The game says it's corrupted, that I have to delete the entire application again and re-download it. So instead of playing Cyberpunk, I essentially had to delete it, re-download it. I found out that the update needs more space than it asked me for last night, which I don't understand. Like, did a new update come out this morning or something? And yeah, I didn't even get to play it. I ended up playing another game that I have, Persona 5. And that's where we're at right now with the whole Cyberpunk saga. We're here. The update didn't include some of the stuff on old consoles. So to me, it kind of seems like they're kind of giving up on that front. And it looks like they're going to focus more on doing updates for next-gen consoles, which would be the Xbox Series X and PS5, which PS5 is almost impossible to find right now. It's been, 2 years since it first released, and there's still, a lot of people who have not been able to find one. Even here, I went to Best Buy near Edinburgh because I was looking for something totally unrelated to a PS5. It was I was looking for a computer. And I just asked out of curiosity. And apparently, within the past 1.5 to 2 years, that particular Best Buy only had the PS5 for 2 weeks. Within that 1 year and a half, or even 2 years, I can't remember. Within that time frame, they only had I think a handful of PS5s for 2 weeks. He even told me a story that apparently someone came to return theirs. I think he wanted to trade it in for a computer or something like that. And immediately when one of the customers saw that this guy was essentially returning a PS5, he bought it on spot. The same day, same time, not even minutes from each other. So, that's how bad it is. It's almost impossible. Anyway, we're going to have to get to another music break and then go into our last segment, unfortunately. So thank you so much for watching the show. Stay tuned for our final segment. But for now, this is one of my personal favorite songs, Heartbreaker with Pat Benatar. So please enjoy and continue listening to Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station. Hello. That was Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar. I recently heard that she was just nominated to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I hope she gets. I do think she should have been there way earlier. I think she's deserved to be there for a while now. So I hope she gets it. Honestly, I love her music. So welcome to the final segment. We're here to talk about, again, whatever I want, and I still haven't decided on that. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I have things prepared. No, I really don't. But let's stay on the rock and roll topic, actually, because I can go on and on about music. Pat Benatar is a pretty underrated artist, I think. She has one hit that pretty much everyone knows, Hit Me With Your Best Shot, which is a music about a particular act that I will not say here. But it's a pretty good song, pretty catchy. And that's a topic that I think is interesting because there's just so many songs that are so catchy, but they have dark meanings. So let's talk about a few of those. They're not rock and roll actually, so we're going to move on from that. Pumped Up Kicks. I love the song, but it has a very dark undertone. It has very dark meaning. It is about a crime that is being committed on a place of education, but it's so catchy. It's so groovy. That's the problem with it. It's so groovy. It's weird. I could hear it so many times and it sounds like something to dance to, but it's just what it actually means is very, very unfortunate if you catch my drift. Same thing with one of my personal favorites, Somebody I Used to Know by, I don't even know how to pronounce his name, to be completely honest with you guys. I don't know if it's supposed to be Gautier or Gautier. You spell it Gotye, I believe. And that was his one hit wonder. Like he had a couple songs, but like that was the one that like put him on the map, and then he just disappeared. Like I didn't hear anything else from that guy, which is unfortunate because like that song was so good. Um, it's literally like it's the perfect breakup song, I think, in my opinion. Uh, Better than Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift fans will probably get mad at me right now, especially the ones that I know who are listening. I don't like her. She has nothing on Somebody I Used to Know. Um, yeah, I was totally lining up a joke for the artist being somebody I used to know. But yeah, it's again just another song that's so catchy and yet has like this dark undertone, and there's so many of those. Um, I know, I know some Pink Floyd songs are super catchy, but they're like talking about some other stuff. For example, In a Flesh, In the Wall, the second version, the one without the question mark. That one is like so catchy, but it's like talking about hatred. So you explain that. Um, but then moving on to like songs that are actually catchy but don't have like dark undertones. What's the thing about the most happy song you can think of? Like a song that like it just generates happiness. Its aura is complete happiness. I'll give you a second. Is everyone done? You have that song in your head? It better have been Mr. Blue Sky. That song is it's too positive. That song screams happiness. I don't know if you guys know this. Probably not. Only the person that I told this. But Mr. Blue Sky is actually connected to 3 other songs in the album that it came up with, which is Out of the Blue from ELO. Not a lot of people know that. Like these 3 songs, like when you hear the 3 songs that are before Mr. Blue Sky on the album, it makes the song so much better. So much. I really recommend listening to those 3 songs and then listening to Mr. Blue Sky. They're all connected, by the way. So like they transition to each other. So that's how I know it's connected, and it just makes the entire song better. You just got to trust me on this. I could go off on music for a long time. Long time. But unfortunately, we're getting to the end of the hour here, which means I am going to have to, unfortunately, get to the last music break and end the show. I know. I wish this could go on for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. But that's the thing about radio. It's timing, block, scheduling, stuff like that. So, but I want to take this time to thank you all so much. I really do appreciate the support that I'm getting from my listeners. Most of my friends, family, co-workers, I really appreciate you. Even though you're listening because you know me, even one listener makes a lot of a difference. So it makes me happy to know that people are watching my show. So thank you so much. I wish you all luck for the next week. I hope you all have a good weekend. And please tune in next week for another episode of The Dead Speak with yours truly, DJ Deadman. For now, we're going to end the show with, ironically, a song about my way, which this last segment was kind of my way. You know, it was the Dead Man's Choice. So we're going to listen to My Way from Frank Sinatra as our final song here. So please enjoy. Continue listening to Vaquero Radio, the Valley Student Station. This was DJ Deadman signing off. Have a good weekend.